we're technically streaming right now, so but I'm gonna make some more posts so that people know that we're streaming, and we get going.
So this is not the part where I start saying terrible things.
I mean, you can say whatever the fuck you want, whenever the fuck you want.
Well, that's cool.
But I don't think anyone's watching. Is my point. And I don't think
so this is the time to say it. Then everyone will find it like hours later when it's posted, and so all the drama won't happen until tomorrow, and we can do that all day. Is deal with the drama.
I get something fun to wake up to.
That works for me. I have tomorrow off. Nothing but comment on shit.
Some old school fucking kill the fire internet battles.
Let's go.
Oh man, those were so good. Memes on deck. Alright, well.
Tons of chats jumping.
I'm having trouble sharing all my stuff. I don't know why that is. I really hope my internet is good.
I'm gonna try to join through my computer now.
I thought you already... Okay. Well,
so now we're switching over. So all the testing we did, throw it out the window.
Good thing we're live.
I'm difficult, Ringo.
Boopity. Share it again.
Gross. He bought ice fucking shoulders.
Who?
One of Kraken's people.
Oh.
Yeah.
I actually don't remember hating his shoulders that much.
It's because they're not his shoulders. They're generally from Golevsky.
So, the problem with them is those square-ass corners like to dig into shit, and even if they do collapse like they're supposed to, which they won't unless you rework them, they just dig hard into whatever the fuck you try to mount them to.
Oh man, are we gonna have an Andre bitch sesh in the middle of this? Oh, I'm so excited.
We can.
You want to have a conversation about armor? You didn't think we were gonna bring up America's Pariah in the fucking market? Come on.
I mean, I would be lying.
Man formerly known as Captain America.
What was the name of the guy with like the flag tattooed on his face that's in that like comic excerpt going around where Captain America's bitching him out for being like zealously patriotic?
That's Nuke. He's actually pretty cool, and you can blame Wolverine for him.
It turns out you can blame Wolverine for a lot of things.
That's understandable.
Well, Wolverine like
you can do it. He won't remember.
Wolverine like groomed him as a child.
Whoa, like creepy groomed or good groomed?
Oh, like convinced him to kill his mom and stuff.
So good groomed, got it.
I don't know his mom, so I can't really comment on that.
Well, his mom did convince him to kill his dad. So, like, there was a lot of fuckery going on with that one. Him having trouble getting in with thingamajig.
Oh, man.
Okay,
Nope.
I'm trying not Firefox.
Do you think we are streaming or aren't streaming?
We are. We're
live.
But no one's on yet. And Kat is still changing computers. So, we're going to wait for Kat to...
I'm going to put the door with my...
Yeah, go do your thing.
I'm surprised no one's on here. Ringo, you got like a hell of a fan club.
I messaged my old region. So I was hopping
we're technically 3 minutes from when I said we would start.
Oh,
yes, because everyone who hangs out with you is so good about scheduling.
I would imagine most people are going to pop on
closer to the time. No,
or actually after, I would imagine, because we've never been on time. This is the first time we were on time, because I thought getting ready was going to take way longer, because in the past... Whoa, Cat's on twice.
Okay.
Two cats.
Double cat.
Catception.
So much cat.
Oh, hey, that's us.
I'm going to try to be better about clicking on who's ever talking as I put on Micah for me talking.
Can you hear me?
Look at that. Yes.
I can.
We can't see you, though. If you can fix that, that would
be... Let me turn that on.
Dope.
Allow. What's up?
Oh, yeah, now we got Cat. And you sound way better.
And there's more Bobs in the video.
Get this done.
Oh, yeah, we're up to 3 Bobs. We still have 0 viewers, though. Oh, hey, I lied. Somehow we have viewers in the chat, but Twitch told me we don't. So let's get into this. We have
let's do it.
Okay.
Valis and Music Fiend. All right, so today we're going to be talking about armor. I've grabbed some of the people who I always go to if I'm actually. I don't ever try to get armor. Cat just gives me armor. But if I have to ask questions for someone else, these are the people I go to get the answer. So we have Michael Johnson. We have Micah. You're supposed to wave or do something, Micah. And we have Cat Brooks. So yeah, what we're gonna talk about today, I'm gonna if you have unlimited budget, where you should go for armor. We're going to talk about the differences between stainless steel, spring steel, titanium, and a bunch of other shit that I don't understand. We're going to talk about a little bit about authenticity, but not much because most of us don't give a shit. And we'll talk about if you have to buy American, where to go from, if you're scared about overseas, who you can go to in Mexico or Canada, if there's anyone worth going to, shit like that. So, I guess let's start off. Maybe like you guys should introduce yourselves and say why you know shit about armor. Starting with Cat.
My name is Cat. I ran a now defunct armor business for a little while because I hate customer service. Straight out, I'm not pulling any punches. Even though the one's on me. So I did that for a while, and I've kind of worked as the quartermaster type for New England. I've helped most of our fighters figure out the resources that they've used to buy their armor.
And then, Micah, do you want to talk about your experience with armor and weapons and shit?
Alright, so not to sound too much like people who shouldn't probably be named this early in the podcast, but I've been fighting armor in one group or another for over a decade now. I've been making this stuff
30
for
years?
5 years, 6 years. Not quite. Only one decade.
Motherfucker, are we going there?
We will be. Not yet. Not yet.
Oh, I was gonna pull I've been doing armor stuff for 32 years.
30 to 32 now? Jesus Christ. Die already. So...
Working on it.
I've sold weapons to, I think, literally everybody in this chat and a whole shitload more people. I've sold armor to a bunch of people. I've made armor. Half the kit that I fight in, I made myself. The other half I bought from people, both reputable and not. So I've worked my way up through the whole gobbling your kit together versus actually do it right. Been down both roads.
Also has one of the prettier kits that's out in America, if you've seen him fight. So, and then Mikey.
I've been doing steel fighting for about 5 years, and I've gone through almost 5 kits while doing it. So I started.
All while being a broke gremlin.
Yes, I know how to make a really bad stainless kit with a crazy amount of gaps to what I have now, which is a professionally made kit with only a couple of gaps. And I know how to fix those. I just am too broke to do it, but I can tell other people how to fix those problems.
Also, you have made a bunch of kits for other people.
Yeah.
You've outfitted a number of people. You helped me fix my armor a bunch of times. So my point is, these guys all have armor experience. I don't, which is why I'm not gonna list it. I don't know shit.
So yeah, I'm trying to tell you, you just refuse to listen. It's like completely voluntary ignorance.
Which is the best kind of ignorance.
I sold you a helmet with perk plate in the eye slots. Like
that helmet is so fucking heavy. That's the heaviest thing I've ever put on.
It's also got weird shaping.
Now you know the reason I didn't keep it.
All right, so I guess let's start with what I think the most important question is. If you have unlimited budget, like someone came and gave you 20-30 grand, who are you going to for armor, and what are you getting? So who wants to take that?
Straight out, I would go to Peter Polyak. He's out of Moscow. He's probably one of the best armor smiths in the world right now. Everything he makes is amazingly light, amazingly strong, and the articulation on everything is gorgeous. The kits that you would know he made Carl Fist's kit. And he's made a number of really beautiful kits, but that would be if you're going something late period and full plate.
He made my helmet.
So what would you get? What kit would you get from him?
Sorry, there's too many options.
With that amount of money, multiple kits.
I think if I had unlimited money, I think I'd go with a Hussar kit.
Yes!
Oh, nice. Okay. Micah?
There's nothing that's working better than feathers. Adding insult to injury by leading a literal peacock on the field. If I had all the money in the world to spend on armor and I could pick anyone, I would physically drive to Colorado and go talk to Jeff Wasson.
Okay. Okay.
Jeff Wasson lives in New Jersey, dog.
Dating? All right. Well, I haven't talked to the guy.
Sorry, Long Island. He's a Long Island dude.
Wherever, I'll track him down and I'll go spend the money there because
You used to sleep on my couch when I was in
hurry.
Oh no! What? No!
Up knees.
All right, hold up, stop. We gotta
Tell to look at him.
I can't hear you. Hold up. We're having lag issues. Give me 1 second to see.
Okay.
Yeah, homie made my gauntlets, and I really like him. I think he makes better gauntlets.
I want to steal your gauntlets.
He does. You pay more for him, but that's the trade-off. At that point, at least when it comes to American armorers, sometimes that's the trade-off. Sometimes they just say that's the trade-off.
All right. It says we're back, maybe? I think it says we're back. So, so you were saying,
he loves you.
so you're gonna drive to Jeff Wasson. You're gonna get custom. What was the kit you were gonna get? Because we lost that.
So
It hates Micah.
either Gothic plate or the black and white stuff. The full length black and white was what got me into armor in the first place, was seeing that stuff.
You know why?
Do I want it? I just like the look. I mean, when you get that late period, all of it is pretty much full coverage, and it'll all keep you about as safe as anything else. And I don't really think that for our sport, your safety is increased by enough to really justify the price difference. At that point, you're just showing off because this is what you want to do, and this is the stuff you really like, and why not dress up in feathers or way too much metal or whatever you want to wear if you've got the budget for it. I've stuck with the 14th century for the kits I fight in because it's easy to make. It's easy to make it look pretty much right, and it works. It'll keep you safe and alive on the field.
And it's lighter.
Some of it is, yeah. If you do it right, it is definitely lighter than those big ass jousting harnesses.
All right, Mikey, you're the last one to go.
I personally would go to Arma Moscovia as my first pick, which I'm pretty sure is where Peter works out of as well, or has before. As another option, I would go for a high-end kit from GS Studios in Poland and get their. They had this really beautiful English blackened kit that I just fell in love with. It had these perfect like curved edges, all of that. That would be my number 2 pick if I had to pick instead of Arma Moscovia.
That kit was based off another really gorgeous reproduction that was going around for years. I forget who made it. It was pretty famous for a minute, this reproduction, and it was this gorgeous black. And then the new owner bought it.
That's a Mac kit, and it was for Tobias Capwell.
Mm-hmm. So he sold the kit to someone, and the dude was like, "I need this to be shiny white metal," and then fucking destroyed it.
Oh,
while trying to do. Yeah.
What a monster!
That's terrible. Also, I just want to point out that everyone in this chat is rocking the painted nails. Besides Micah, get on that shit, buddy.
Micah's wife thinks it's gross.
Well, that's a good reason for her to get over it.
You should check her toxic masculinity.
I don't think that's the reason. As long as I take it off before I gotta put my uniform back on again, it should be fine.
Okay, so on that note, if you are a broke ass hoe, how are you armoring yourself, Kat?
Okay, so I really like the GS Studios deal that was mentioned earlier. I think I would personally stick with my actual current armor because he's not actually that expensive. Workshop Dubrovnia out of Ukraine. Alexander has done really good by me, and I think Metallurgy wise, I don't think anyone quite beats him yet.
What do you get? What does a kit run out of there? Full hub to trim.
25.
Okay, that's not bad. Micah, if you're a broke ass hoe, what are you doing? How are you getting kitted up?
I've sent some broke ass hoes down to Red Snake.
He's my
helped
boy.
some broke ass hoes build some stuff. I mean, if you're close enough to me that we can put a tape on you and make your patterns and make stuff, I've been helping some local guys work on stuff for 2 years. We'd be done by now, but they never actually show up to do the work.
Oh, isn't that the way?
No, Jason.
Called out. Called the fuck out.
So we're just now setting up local heat treat capability because I've been mailing everything back to my buddy that I used to work with when I lived back in Texas, and it's just the cost of shipping things twice or 3 times really, and then paying hourly wages to somebody to heat treat stuff instead of just going over and doing it myself has been nuts. But like coming out of the SCA, the whole thing there was build your own stuff. So I learned how to build my own stuff. That's obviously not viable for everybody. So I'd send them to somebody that's either putting out a lot of stock stuff like Medieval Extreme, or what's the other one? Bohart Tech is are they doing armor?
Yeah,
They've got armor.
They do everything.
Age of Craft, honestly, anything with their helmets. I heard they fixed the heat treat problems.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any helmets since then, but it's been a couple of years since anybody's popped one open like a tin can on the field. So
I'll give another shout out to Nadler with his line of stuff from India.
Is that India?
The one man who can
Some
get
of it.
quality out of the fucking subcontinent is actually doing some good work. I will give Nadler his props.
You know how he does it though, right?
He goes over there and physically forces them to do what he wants.
Yeah.
He stands over them while they're hammering, telling them they're doing it wrong until they do it right.
You know what?
Kidding. This is how he described it.
That sounds like something he would enjoy. That sounds like something he would enjoy doing, though. Like, I get to tell someone they're wrong in person. That sounds like Nadler's treat.
I think he is living his dreams. He's not letting them be memes.
Mikey.
All right. My number one go-to is kind of a combination. Almost my entire kit is made from either Red Snake or Bidgman, both down in Mexico. They both have these great payment plans. You put 25% down on your order to get your spot in the queue. You put 25% down when they're starting work on your project, and then when it's done, you pay the last 50% and shipping. So you're able to space everything out for custom sizes and get the designs you want. Like the fancy cloth I have on my brig was an extra $30, and I got to pick what design I wanted.
Or you can just go over to your grandma's house.
What was that, Kat?
You got to pick that, and that's what you chose?
Yeah, dude, I love the color.
All right, we got a question in the chat before we all shit on Mikey's tits.
It might be a new thing.
I don't shit on Mikey.
You freeze up and stop talking to me.
We lost the joke.
You froze up and you just never finished that joke for us.
I make a point of never shitting on Mikey. I just kind of point at Mikey and let people make their own judgments.
That's fair.
They're either going to be entertained or they're not. Like, flip a coin. That's on you at that point.
So from the chat, we had a mention that at least he's not wearing a Tulsa shirt.
Ooh.
So
who's not wearing a Tulsa shirt?
Me,
Mikey. That was from the chat that came out. I don't. No comments.
I'm wearing a Tulsa shirt because free the fucking tyrants. They need to be liberated. Free the tyrants.
oh.
Hashtag it.
We need to bring them democracy. Like, it's what's up.
And then a real question: do you guys know of anyone who does specific armor for women? And if not, what they would have to do to sort of customize stuff to fit better, unless it was custom.
Kyle Harris has been doing some great women's armor lately. I wasn't a big fan of him in the beginning, but he's really stepped up his game in the last 2 years.
he did that whole melee kit that Shoshana wears. So she's like solid results start to finish. So I mean, as far as women's armor goes, you don't get a better endorsement than like the ongoing reigning, apparently eternal Sword and Shield champion for this continent.
And Harris is what, mid-range expensive, top end expensive?
Yeah, his price is actually pretty
entirely reasonable for an American. Like,
yeah,
like,
good prices.
I don't know how he eats with those prices.
He lives out in rural Northern California, and the cost of living there isn't that high.
Does anyone remember what his armor is called? Because I feel like it's hard to get a hold of him by his name.
You just have to look him up.
You gotta look up his name, not the armory. Oh, it's the other way around.
Yeah,
he's hard to get a hold of.
I've never
It might be listed on his page. Let me check. Get medieval metal works.
I think I've heard that once before and asked who it was.
Like that page. Also, Arma Moscovia is pretty good making women's armor because one of their major people, she happens to be a woman. And, she's won a whole lot of Sword and Shield stuff in Eastern Europe. Okay. So I definitely think they're a great choice.
I've refit a couple of different kits for women that were definitely not manufactured for women.
Yeah.
It's possible to do it, but you got to re-engineer like the whole damn thing. It also helps if the joints work and there are no pennies involved in the construction.
Since we're starting to go down that path, let's who are the armorers we actively don't recommend? Obviously, there's
Fuller. Never go to Fuller.
Okay.
I don't know if he's even making things anymore, but never talk to that guy. I don't know.
I think
but he's like the number one representation of bad armor.
Around Andrew, he'll like throw holy water at you.
I didn't even know he was still a thing. I thought he just climbed into his fedora and disappeared.
I don't know if he is. He's just like the epitome of bad armor.
Like sold his armory.
The 4 hammers he bought at Goodwill? I
think there was a bench too.
Hey, he had a kiln. That's more than I've got.
I heard stories about a shed. I don't know the specifics. I don't pretend to have all the details, but
they weren't in the book that you read.
No.
They were not.
Everything to know you need to know about armor, but we're never told.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Right. All right, but okay. So Fuller's
That's
on
the name of the episode, by the way. You're welcome.
Oh man,
Fuller is clearly on the list. Personally, I would say Andre Ice Falcon is on the list. Anyone else that you guys want to say?
Gruber. I would say
I would put Trinity Arms on there. Some people really like the non-Nadler approved Indian stuff they've imported, and some people don't. So the results are so up and down. I don't know the guy personally. I don't know anything about his operation. I've just what I'm collecting from various people giving me feedback when I ask what they got, where they got it. I've got like anybody who makes armor specifically for the STA, and it's not to knock them because I'm sure it works just fine for their game, but that is not this game. Okay, nobody's out here in blue plastic barrels or plastic of any kind. Nobody's out here in aluminum
anymore.
Nobody's out here in mild steel for long.
True.
Untreated mild, that is. I wouldn't buy anything off of Etsy. People send me links to Etsy, and there are a couple of legit guys like that will post stuff there, and that's cool. But definitely, if you're thinking about, well, long story short, if you're out there and you're thinking about buying armor for this game, find somebody who's been in it for a while and send them a link. Ask them questions.
Get frozen
and
again.
Get frozen.
Hopefully we get someone back. Hey, we're back.
Yeah,
Gruber.
It
Gruber.
keeps cutting out. Sorry.
Gruber.
So there's also a couple of foreign armors that need to go on there. I think we had a bunch of bad results with Forge of Spawn.
Oh yeah.
I want to be real clear. I had nothing but golden results. I still wear the greaves I got from those guys, but that was 5 years ago, right at the start of all the problems. I don't know what happened. I don't know what went wrong, but for 2 solid years, we got nothing but problems out of them. So I think they need to be on there. I wouldn't go to Arm Street again for the same reason I wouldn't shop at an SCA Armor. It works great for what it's intended for, which in that case is costuming and looking real pretty. That's some real pretty stuff. But I've held a local guy down here brought me a kit that he got from them. Said he spent $3,000 on it. The helmet was 16 gauge mild. Like,
no.
Why? God, who hated you?
How? Like, what designs did they put in a 16 gauge mild to make that $3,000? Like, what the fuck?
The lines were all right. Like, everything looked like it was supposed to look. It was basically a Cherber harness that, the one with the hound skull bassinet and the fucking finger gauntlets and the brass everywhere. It looked great. But I wouldn't. I mean, if I really actively disliked somebody, I'd put them in that. I never wanted to see that person like speaking sentences again. That'd be great. Yeah. Shit, there's more.
Oh, while you're thinking, Cat.
Steel Mastery is another one. We're getting good results out of.
Who? Sorry.
Steel Mastery. Have you ever done? Like, again, great for what it's good for. They're right there with Arm Street, the same category. If you're going STA, great, go for it. You'll be the best looking person, not making it to the quarterfinals of Crown.
Kat, you were saying Gruber?
No, it's not.
Gruber has fucked up a number of orders, and there are people that are waiting for his shit now 3 years out.
Oh, fuck.
So it's just like a great place to never get your shit from. So if you just want to bury money and never see it again, I suggest going to the beach.
Go to the beach near my house and tell me where you buried it.
Anyone?
Same effect.
Anyone else that we got?
Nick from Quebec. Back before he started smoking crack, he was actually a pretty good armorer, but his crack addiction has fucked up his armory.
Wild.
And
who would have guessed that?
To the drama in steel, I guess.
Yeah, turns out smoking crack bad for your armory business.
No.
Cool. I think we've covered all of the shitty armors. I think we covered our favorite.
No, there's tons more. Message us before you buy anything.
Okay.
Yeah. My recommendation.
Please find somebody who's done this and ask about a specific item from a specific armor before you buy it.
That's fair.
Please, I'm tired of listening to that story. I didn't know. I know you didn't know. That's why I told you to ask me.
By Satan and Jesus and everything between, please ask.
Yeah, I tell people to ask 3 experienced fighters at least before any purchase, and to plan out an entire kit to at least have an idea of what they want, and that way they can at least somewhat be put together.
Okay. I want to go away from the hard kits a little bit for just a little. Kat, you've been importing a bunch of soft kit stuff, and you've gone through a bunch of iterations on that. Do you want to talk about sort of what you think the best use of training soft kits, who people should go for, bang for their buck, anything like that?
As for, like, if you want to buy everything from one guy, right now I think the guy to buy from is Sparta Soft Warrior. I really like Ilya. His staff is fairly communicative. There is a language barrier, obviously, but like they're fairly communicative. Their stuff seems to hold up unless Ringo wears it.
That's everything. Ringo
That's fair.
Yeah, the weapons are pretty good. Everything's decent. If you were going to talk weapons, I've been having a lot of luck out of Gorg Tech weapons. That they normally make them for a LARP called Daga here, but they work really good for soft kit. Or Forged Foam has also worked pretty good for weapons. I'm really in love with these kits made by this dude named Vladislav out of Kiev. He does like the Tiger 4 helmet, if you've seen any of those. Bohurt Tech, all of the stuff from their site is actually made by Vladislav. And they're very inexpensive when you buy it from Vladislav.
Buy it from Vladislav.
For one.
Other than the bodies, I'm not really liking the made for the sport Eastern European bodies. I really like these bodies made for Muay Thai by a company called Wessing. They're like $36, and they have these bamboo splints that really nice when you get kicked in the tummy super hard.
It's gotta protect the rumbly tumbly.
Yeah. I don't know, have you ever seen someone hork one up from getting a front kick to the belly?
Yes,
No.
yes, I have. Also, he shit himself from that. So.
Okay, that was not the exit I was expecting, but like still bad. Micah, you'd probably like, since you're a big polearm man, the polearms from Gore-Tex and Forged Foam are pretty good. They're about half the weight of a steel polearm, but they have no flex to the pole because they're made of carbon fiber.
Nice.
So like, you can actually push the head on someone and move them with it like you could a polearm.
All my soft stuff I built myself for the dagger hair rule set. Weirdly enough, you also qualify for Amguard and Belgarth. Like if you just build to the roughest one and then the lighter ones, it works. But I rattan cord all mine, so they flex. But then again, my actual polearms are rattan, so.
Warlord, our buddies at Warlord Academy also make some great stuff. It's a little pricey, but it probably will last longer than you will in the sport.
Alright.
Am I wrong?
No, statistically speaking.
I haven't messed with any of it, but I've heard good things.
Yeah, everything's really tank. We're still using swords that we got like 4.5 years ago.
Nice.
I love their sort of falchion simulator. That thing fucking hits too. It's nice.
Yeah, it gives you good whaps.
Good, I'm glad that's working out. I like those guys.
Okay, so with that on the soft.
They also have their own soft kit, by the way. I haven't tried it, but the price looks pretty good from Warlord. Okay. It looks to be like on the minimal side of like most places you'd be able to do pretty well if you're not doing like full speed, full power stuff with it. But it looks like it'll definitely hold up for like pretty good sparring and stuff.
Nice.
Sweet.
I haven't heard of a whole lot of in-house training injuries there, so I would the evidence correlates to that.
We've had a lot, so like.
You don't know if a bunch of gorillas running around in a fucking garage, so it's like, damn.
All right. So unless there's more on that, Cat.
There could be. Like, what do you want to hear about, buddy?
I don't know. That was go get your pitch. Unless people have questions.
Gear? Or
sure.
Here, I'll just fucking go into it. Yeah, so at the hall lately, we've been doing a lot of, we're doing like 2 different kinds of soft kit stuff, where we do like singles that are based on the night fight rules to get people moving and swinging and stuff. We do a lot of that at half speed. And then we've been doing these battle days where we're only doing 1 hit stuff, but that's a full speed. And we've had a lot of success with people developing battle communication skills and weapon skills pretty fast from these battle days, as well as being able to read the field, which is a hard one to get.
And the trick is that we're tricking them to do it because they think it's just a game.
Oh, and you can totally drink beers while you do this one.
One thing I want to say that I really like about the soft kits that we use that I think gets lost. I've seen a lot of people like not want to put their arms on or their legs, so they're like, "Oh, it doesn't hurt that bad," and yeah, maybe not. Like, A, there's no reason to be tough because it's soft kit. Who cares? Like, just wear it anyway. And B, it really does, like, as a guy who fought in a lot of different kits of varying degrees of fitting, the armor gives you a kind of decent simulation of restriction. Like, it's not going to be as heavy, but, like, it does kind of feel like you're moving in armor. You're just way faster. So, I think everyone who puts it on should wear their full kits. I think everyone should get it. I think everyone should get it if you are training and don't have that many options to put on kit that often. And also, I don't think you should put on kit that often anyway.
I think we're doing once a month in armor outside of events right now. That's like our armor practice is now once a month.
Yeah, something like that. But So yeah, I highly suggest the soft kits. You guys now have a bunch of information about it. Unless Kat, can people hit you up to ask questions about that? I don't offer you
You
up.
can always hit me up. If you hit me up past midnight, I will probably be inebriated or grumpy. So just so you know, but like before that, it's all cool.
Nice. So if you want to know about soft kit,
More fun to talk to when you're inebriated and grumpy.
So yeah, hit up Kat for that. Getting back to hard kit stuff though. I guess let's talk about weapons first because we haven't talked about those as stock items. So who do in particular swords because that's what everyone goes for. But like, where would you guys go for weapons besides Michah, obviously, because he makes them. So if you're getting for axes, go to Michah.
Definitely.
But maybe other people, and who would those other people be?
Tyclo.
Kat says Tyclo, not for axes. Tyclo's for swords. But yeah, Tyclo's huge.
Fabio Morum.
There was
Fabio Morum.
Who was the other guy?
They're like one of my favorites for dueling weapons, both army sword and longsword. They just feel really nice. They're not too light.
It's pretty fun buying weapons from like a Rastafarian Croatian. No, he's actually a Rasta.
Yeah.
Like,
Michah, were you had some names you want to throw out?
I had a lot of fun with my Fabries early on, the Fabry Armorums. The big seller there is if you want a look, you can get whatever look you want, and they will work with you on customization. I love my Tilkos for performance. They move. They're tough. I haven't had a single problem with them. But there's only like 2 or 3 pommel shapes and 2 guard shapes, and all of the blades. It's a dice roll on like how fat versus long. Or like
every time I'm Michah,
I'm blaming Michah.
That's fair. Oh, he's back. You're back.
Nope. He looks stoned as hell though.
Man, I'm gonna turn off our video and maybe that'll work. Hey, we lost you, but you're back. Do you want to try saying that stuff again?
Yeah, like so. I like Tilko for function, but there's only one style of them. So if you have a style preference, go to Fabry. They'll make whatever you want.
All right, cool.
It'll work. Be a little heavier, is all.
So it seems like we're basically Fabry, Tilko, and Michah are the places to get weapons.
Yeah. Oh, Bohurt Tech is fairly good for like the long polearms.
Yeah.
I like a lot of their Bardicians and stuff.
Michah, do you have
a lot of really nasty looking can openers on dicks? I'd like to try some of those designs out. I'm ordering steel now to do another weapons run because everybody wants weapons and suddenly I'm out of them. So I can get more.
Fighting just started up again.
Yeah.
Do you have your weapons, Michah?
I can.
Okay.
It depends on how much you want to spend on shipping.
Okay. And
that's
what?
like the big drawback because I can put pretty much any head I make in a USPS flat rate box, and I know what the shipping is going to cost. If you want me to send you an assembled weapon, I will absolutely do that. I will have to write. You'll have side definition. You'll have the whatever color grip tape you want. You'll have a stick in there, and you can pick it up out of the box and go take it on the field and swing it. But it's a get what you pay for situation.
Speaking of, generally, what do you guys in general like for halves on your polearms? Anyone, feel free to talk.
Depends on what you want to do with it.
Hit people really hard. I want to hit people really, really hard.
My favorite haft on my axe that Joseph Dawes made me, he calls it the Beast. Is bullet wood. I guess that's what it's called.
Of course, I just want to say, of course, that's your favorite. Of course, that's your favorite.
The hammer that thinks it's an axe that he's swinging.
Yeah, it's definitely an axe. By the rules, it's an axe. If you say otherwise, I'll be mad at you.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to misgender your polearm. It's an axe. That's fine.
Pronoun is axe. We may have started his life as something else, but anyway.
Sledgehammer.
It's got a bullet wood haft and it hasn't broken. And this is the only haft that I've ever had that's lasted more than 4 fights. So It's dope. I think this one's at like 12 to 16 fights at this point,
Nice.
which is a lot for a haft.
I had absolutely freakishly good results with my first two-hander. It was the one I had on the TV show. I put that thing on the stick in early 2016, and it broke last year.
That's dope.
That's a long life.
What was
for
that on?
us.
What was that on?
It's treating that as a post hole digger handle from Lowe's.
Yeah, that's what I use
I
too.
went to their replacement handle section. I got one of those hardwood Trooper, whatever the brand, however you say that. I shaved the sides down a little bit, put it in there, wedged it, put some fiber fix on it right out of the gate. That seems to be the key to
Definitely.
not snapping that section.
That and
I've
Langettes.
only ever broken a haft where that stuff is not. Like, I have never broken a stick inside the fiber fix. That one died because all of the stick that was inside the tube on the axe head had friggin' shattered. I had crushed it to the point where not even like the multiple wedges pressing the fibers out for tension were doing any good. I did that at Dragon Con. It's that video that's going around. I turned into a GIF. The pow, or here comes the boom.
Did the
was
axe
the second
fly?
hit in that sequence. It would have been in the audience if it wasn't for the net. So hats off to Larry and his boys for safety procedures.
Fact.
For singles though, I gotta say Rattan.
Same.
Like no question at all. Both of those first two pole arms I made still on the same stick. 5 years down the line. I've switched ends. Like I took the heads off and I moved them to the other end of the stick. That's the only thing I've done to them. And I put fiber fix on the Bardiche, but because I also use it in melees, and you can't be quite as precise with the targeting when you're trying to put that much power into it. I even let Jay use it, and it survived. Jay's not kind to axe hafts, and that one survived a round or two against England, I think it was.
Micah, do you Langet your melee poles?
My melee axes, I am starting to do that. The two-header, the
short,
Jerry's whatever you call it, chrome.
The chrome
that
axe.
ridiculous
Your wife's chair.
two-headed.
Your wife's chair.
Yeah.
It's also my chair too. No, that's a different conversation we'll have at some other time. Go check out Daily Buns of Steel. That's Ringo's other page.
Oh yeah, I'm up on that shit too.
I don't run that.
Yeah.
Totally run
My poor sliced open butt.
Yeah, no one sent us pictures of their butts getting bruised. We're gonna try that again because I think we just didn't do it well.
Anyway, the Langets really do help. Like they're arguably better than a fiber fix, but I don't have enough results on them. I've got a couple of langeted sockets in the garage just waiting for new plate to show up so I can put axe heads on them and go hit people vigorously.
I use a lot of langettes. I don't really use the fiber fix anymore. And basically, when they go, it's because the wood inside the languette has turned into mush.
Yeah.
Or they break right at the bottom of the languette.
The nice thing about langettes I've found as well is that it adds a little bit extra weight at the tip that your head might not have. And if you're strong enough, that's great. I'm a weak little bitch and can't use langeted axes.
That's why I use fiber fix.
But for you strong boys,
using a langeted single-headed axe?
Yeah. So like I can't use the dread axes we use at the hall. Like everyone's got like 6 of them. They're like the
was a 3mm job with the cross.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I can't swing that well with a langet. Without the langet, I'm okay. With the langet, I'm just too small, as Kat says. Too small.
So
Also,
the
you
languets I make are like the langet and the tube is all one piece. I just kind of cut them.
Micah, God damn it!
Why do you do this to us, Micah?
You keep freezing on us.
It's because he's in Florida, and Florida sometimes forget it's not the 80s there.
Yeah, it really does.
So you were saying about how you make the langettes a part of the socket.
Yeah, it's just all one piece instead of having separate langets that you have to cut more into the stick. That way it's all on the outside of the thing. And it doesn't like warp differently.
Yeah. That makes
The whole
absolute
point of the
sense.
langet is to stop the stick from torquing. Like, what breaks a haft is when the wood or rattan or whatever the fuck bends more than it can tolerate structurally, and the fibers inside of it split apart from each other, and it snaps. So if you can stop that motion from happening, you greatly reduce the chances of a broken haft. The only thing that'll do it besides torque is just static shock, and you have to hit a lot or very hard or both for that to come into play. It's essentially what happened after 4 years of me using that first axe. That's what killed it.
Yeah. Everything on the inside turned to mush rather than it getting
Pretty
snapped.
much.
Oh, and sometimes when you hit like a strong boy, you break the wood and you bend the languettes all crazy.
Okay. Well, trying to chop down a man mountain is its own thing. Like, you got to be a lot more careful about your shot selection.
Yeah, I should go grab it, but I have one where the languettes bent all the way back, and you can see the broken wood sticking straight up.
Jesus.
Yeah, some people need to get hit.
Everybody needs to get hit. That's why they're in the list.
It's a true statement.
Hashtag all unarmored asses matter.
Speaking of unarmored asses, what is your favorite fix for the fact that most people leave their ass and bits of their hips exposed? Should they just?
I beat those pieces until they cover them.
True.
Vigorously and enthusiastically, like.
But like no, do you just think?
Dumb enough to literally leave your ass hanging out? That's your problem.
Do you think?
I
will explain it to you for cousins.
Micah, we've been fighting each other for how many years now?
When have we ever been on opposite teams?
Every time you're on the first swords.
All right, that's fair.
Back when you were on the desert.
You go over the other side of the field.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, like when have we ever actually come to grips on the field? Like, it's like you and me.
Out there. I have nothing on my hip, nothing on my ass, nothing on my pelvis.
Okay, well,
your hips are covered. Your hips are
Get
covered.
the front portion of you pointed at me whenever you're within axe range.
I do that though.
See, that's the other cure. If you're gonna do that, you cannot turn your back on a halberdier.
All right, but no, for real. Do you think people should just go with one piece folds? Do you think butt flaps, chain, like?
Talk it out.
So, all right, so Kat says internal armor, so that's Kat's vote.
Subcutaneous gambesson. Because super into himself.
Bad enough they can't hurt you. No, I've got folds on my coat plates. I built mine custom to my measurement, so it covers all that. But if you can't go that route, there are a lot of companies like Medieval Extreme who make these little lobstered sections that you can hang off your arming belt and cover those gaps. Because a lot of historical coat of plate patterns didn't have that, because that's where the horse is supposed to be.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, horses are expensive, and we're all a bunch of broke ass.
And the horses are terrifying, for one.
Also
and
true.
Two, the other solution is burger armor.
Yes.
Burger.
You eat
Burger
so many
armor.
so many burgers, your fupa and large ass protect your bones so they don't break. We've run into this phenomenon a number of times, Mike.
I recall the pre-injury Simon days, yes. Anyway.
So you and I actually fought a man in Scotland. I believe they called him Pork Pie.
The Pie Man.
Pie Man.
Because anyone can come get a slice. He was a gem. He was also fucking impervious to axes. I don't understand.
From us though.
Yeah.
Both Micah and I in the video hit him 7 times, which is much more than we ever really usually hit anyone. But both of us hit him 7 times. That's 14 hits between the two of us. And then my dad walks up and brings us great shame by hitting him once. We opened up the mayonnaise jar, like we loosened the lid.
Definitely, yeah. We no. I don't understand. That's where that 6 foot that halberd I brought died. Was over that guy's head.
I actually broke my halberd on that same guy.
Right. And then coming back with my replacement weapon, I tripped over the haft of that halberd and went like face first into the back of somebody's knee. So I got another takedown.
Sonic
I tripped over my own broken fucking weapon.
That's actually how one of our guys broke his leg. Our dude Greg turned into Sonic the Hedgehog after getting checked and just took this dude's leg out and shattered him into a million pieces.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was bad. We thought he was going to bleed out.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That does not sound fun. No,
Yeah.
I just...
Supposedly his armor...
like face first in the back of the knee.
Yeah. Supposedly that guy's armor saved his life by keeping his leg from shattering. So, get solid greaves, apparently.
Case Greaves.
Yeah.
It'll save your life. Did we freeze? Did we lose my
did for a moment.
What?
Forever ago. We were in Memphis, I want to say. And I think it was Gary and one other of your boys had me up on the rail, and Jay came in with, it looked like everything he had into my shin. And my shin was fine, but the foot it deflected into.
That's okay. Brandon was on my team in Detroit, and he broke my shin.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fun
That's me,
times.
buddy.
Yeah.
What are with old guys and axe power? What is that about?
Brandon's not even that old. He's like 41.
Yeah, aren't you older than Brandon?
Old for this game.
How old are you?
35.
That's a lie.
He just looks way older.
You're
Oh,
only
that's
2
right.
years
I
older
think
than
it's okay.
me?
It's the mileage.
I feel like you're way older than
It's the kids, be real.
me.
Why do you think my dad looks the way he does?
Yeah, that's what you get for actually raising them.
Oh. Okay.
Oof.
All
I'm
right.
not sorry. I don't know what you want from me.
Nothing.
I'm
Continue to.
I'm fond of my children.
Yeah, continue to raise them. That's what we want. Be a good father.
That is the plan.
Good.
I'm trying. I'm trying. Everything that's wrong with them is probably my fault.
But at least you
But
own
everything
it.
is right with them?
So what?
Maybe everything is right with them?
Oh no, they're polite. That was definitely their mother.
That's right. That's Margaret.
Strange
Checks
people
out.
for no reason. They're just like good people, and I'm like, who's why?
That's true.
You don't even know them. Why are you? Please and thank you and all this other shit. Like I've got good kids, and this is definitely my wife's doing. I didn't.
You're just there for the ride.
I teach him how to do jump scares and like go for the back of the leg. You know.
Valuable lessons.
I know we're getting.
And Monopoly. I also taught them.
Yeah,
that. My
don't.
son actually beat me at that shit recently.
Yeah, you shouldn't have taught them. That's a terrible game. You're wrong.
It's an awesome game. It gives you false confidence about dealing with capitalism in the real world.
All right, back on track. I know we're getting punchy, but I kind of want to cover what, like, if you come into this game with the basics, like you've swung a hammer before, what can you make on your own, and where could you go to kind of learn how to do it? Like, obviously, we don't want to tell people, hey, go fucking make your own helmet and make your own gauntlets, but like,
Armor Archive.
Yeah.
Armor Archive has all of Nadler's old patterns back when he used to make armor.
Nadler.us is a much simpler website to find most of his patterns.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's even better.
He's still his website's still up.
What I know about making armor is talk to Nadler about it.
Also fair.
So if you can, go check out Nadler's patterns. Go to the Armor Archive. Google armor patterns. You can find some stuff. Like I got on Google Images and found some like samurai armor patterns. A lot of the
Is that where Omar got them?
Developed on in the U.S. for armor making has come up through the SCA, and if you ignore the purpose-built stuff, like the stuff at the sport, and look at the stuff that was designed to recreate history, you've got a much better shot at generating actual armor. There's a book by Brian Price that'll show you how to build a whole 14th century kit from the ground up.
What's that book called?
Stand by.
Pretty sure I have a a copy of that. Oh, my phone died, so I can't find it. It's up to you, Micah.
Because I am a filthy fucking casual and download everything instead of paying for it.
Same.
Binder copies of the complete late 14th century armor. This is actually Douglas Strong, not Brian Price. I was wrong.
Glad I made you go grab it then.
I want to say I got it off of Wiktenauer of all places, but I could be wrong about that. It's findable, but if you get on Google, there's stuff out there, or talk to, and I want to qualify the statement, but talk to your local SCA group or HEMA group or other reenactment type groups about if there's anybody around there that makes gear, because they'll have experience at the very least with cutting and sanding and shaping, and the basic processes of making it. Now, getting into the intricacies of what pattern to use for which kit and who and how and materials and else, that's a whole separate conversation. But yeah, and if you are lottery-winningly fortunate enough to have somebody in your area who knows how to heat treat spring steel, that's the jackpot.
For sure.
Get that guy, buy that guy a beer.
The number one thing to realize is you will not wear the first kit you make, and if you do, that's a horrible decision.
Right, so make it for someone else and watch them die, then make one for yourself.
Pretty much.
Got it.
I remember.
Like most things, having disposable friends helps.
Okay, so I actually did wear the first kit I made for this game.
Same.
Which was weird, the first kit I made. And it was the kit I wore in Poland. And I only made like a couple pieces of it. It was mostly the coat of plates. That thing weighed like 22 pounds on its own. It was all 1.2 millimeter 4130.
I know that film. I just got out of that chess piece.
It was. I'm pretty sure it would have stopped the 22 round. I never tried. But.
We should do that test now that you're not wearing it.
You can wear it if you want.
Okay, well.
So, wait till he's wearing it.
I wanted other stuff, and I had already built 2 coats of plates to replace that one.
So you guys just mentioned some words that I don't think most people know what they mean, like me. Spring steel. Yeah. So does someone want to go over the basics of materials for us dumbasses who don't know what the
Micah
fuck
has
they
the
mean?
most experience with that.
I only know Eastern European metals.
All right, somebody's waving tits in my face. I'm a little distracted right now. Okay.
Hey.
I know. Constantly, every time I'm online. So materials. If you look at the book, it'll give you the guidelines, the rule books for whichever league you're using on what thickness out of what type of material. And a lot of them say mild or stainless or spring steel or titanium, but what does that really mean? Now, I'm not an engineer or a metallurgist or any of that kind of shit. I'm a goblin with a lot of equipment in somebody else's garage most of the time. And it works. I figured out how the arcane secret of making spring steel armor work. Mild and stainless are the 2 terms you hear come up a bunch.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing you guys there. Are we still connected?
Yeah, you're
so
good.
I turned off my
Okay.
video because it seems to make your video go better. And you're talking.
So the only difference between the terms mild and stainless is whether or not the material has any corrosion resistance. They've added something into the alloy, usually chromium or nickel or whatever, to stop it from rusting as easily. It will still rust. It just takes a lot more effort. The problem is that
just give it to Ringo. You literally just give it to Ringo, and it will rust.
You may hand it to Ringo, sink it on the Titanic, whatever.
So, just so the world knows this, about 8 feet from me, there is a patch of wooden floor that we had to cover with rubber mats because Ringo's sweat ate through the floor.
This is not how that happens.
Kidding.
Fucking
Ringo is the human rust monster.
Individual. They're different terms. So, also the big difference between mild and stainless is a little bit stronger. It's harder to dent. It's harder to dent.
5 more hardness, whatever the fucking scale is.
Yeah,
Wait, like a +5 to your armor class?
I hate working with
Kind
because
of,
it's harder to
actually,
shoot too. so it'll cost you more.
It has much more of the what's the term for it? It always wants to return back to the sheet metal. Something memory.
Pain in the assness.
Yeah, that's the best
just
term for it.
To work. Unless you can get one of the heat treatable stainlesses like 17.7, but the sequence for that is obscene. It's some ridiculous up down bunch of fucking nonsense. I'm not about to fuck with. I use
I'm gonna stop you. I gotta stop you. So you threw out a number, and you threw out another number earlier. What are the numbers?
Okay, so the numbers when somebody is talking about a type of steel refer to a specific alloy. All that means is that the steel has different extra shit in it compared to the iron. Carbon or molybdenum or whatever they call it, or chromium or any number of other things that I am not qualified to really get into the nuts and bolts of. Long story short, there is a short list of specific alloys that work really well for this game. The main one for orc-blooded production is 4130. I don't know what the ratios are. I don't know the specific. It's 4130 chromoly. You can go on the internet. You can find several distributors in the U.S. who sell it by the sheet, by the tube, in plate form. I would assume somebody's got it in brick, but I don't know why you'd want that. And maybe if you're wanting to build another one of Cat's axes. You can get it, and it's really easy to heat treat, and it's very forgiving of somebody trying to heat treat it, not really knowing what they're doing, but having it figured out pretty much. Now, I test everything I make. I test it all. Before I send it out, I give it wax and throw some hate at it, and then if it works, great. If it doesn't, it goes in the junk pile because nobody's got any use for it, and then until recently I haven't had any ability to fix it here. 4130 is probably best is a really subjective statement, but in my opinion, since I'm the one.
Clearly his internet is not the best.
On your own. Now, when I say spring steel, what I mean is once it's been heat treated, you put it, like you see in the movies, you put it in the fire and it gets all hot and orange and yellow and glows, then you dump it in the water, and then there's another step after that they never show. Sometimes several steps depending on your ally, but
with the oil and bullshit.
What you want to wind up with is a spring, basically. That's why they call it spring steel. You can bend it, beat it, whatever, abuse it, and it will return, or mostly return, to the shape it had before you dealt it that abuse. That is the optimal material for this game in terms of your kit surviving. A lot of people will go to other materials for different reasons, and we can have that argument until everybody's blue in the face and make zero progress whatsoever. But in terms of longevity of gear, spring steel or spring stainless steel, and the only difference between those two is the same aforementioned corrosion resistance, really. Those are the best for this game.
I think
a lot of asterisks at the end of that sentence.
A very similar steel to 4130, 30 HGSA, and that's the alloy I would ask to get done.
European alloy.
Yeah, it's got like a little bit more chromium, I believe, in it. So like it rusts slightly slower or something.
Faster. It's faster. It is so much faster.
Really?
Holy shit.
Okay. Basically, Nadler jabbered at me for about 6 years about this steel. Well, it probably was that afternoon, but it felt like 6 years.
He's still at the hall yelling at you right now.
Yeah, he's on the first floor right now, actually. I'm on the fourth floor. He's on the first floor. But yeah, 30 HGSA. That's what my helmet's made out of. That's what all of my armor's made out of. I used to use 65 GSA, but like that's the helmet that I had that cracked was in that. That's the only downside about getting a thinner helm from Galvetsky is occasionally he still uses that alloy. So again, when you're getting Eastern European stuff, definitely be like on them about what alloy they use, because sometimes they use what's available.
For sure. for the most part, those guys are doing a pretty good job overall. Like in terms of like success rate of cranking out a good piece of gear for really
100%.
competitive price.
100%.
All about Eastern Europe. Like I said, if I had an unlimited budget, I know exactly who I'd go to in the States, but that's a different story. He actually uses, I think my knees are 1050. Which is
my gauntlets are 1050.
Spring alloy, yeah, I think is what Watson prefers. There's a couple of different people. I've got another pair of gauntlets made out of that, like finger gauntlets that I can't use in steel, but
well, you can, but don't.
What?
You can use them in steel, but don't.
I mean, even if I were so inclined, I'm like required to have all 10 fingers functioning to keep my job.
And that's why we don't.
So I'm not gonna.
That's one of the biggest things newbies come and talk to me about is like, hey, I really like these finger gauntlets. I think they'd be great for dexterity. And they are for the first fight in the first round. After that, it doesn't matter anymore because you've lost a finger or lost the ability to use that finger.
If all you want to do is sword and shield duels, go for it.
That's where I was going with it.
You get a stinger in the sword hand.
It'll suck, but like this whole sport's about dealing with suck.
I mean, if you don't want to experience pain, go play golf. The pain there is all emotional. Unless you.
So, do you guys have any thoughts about titanium?
I like it. I think that so titanium definitely falls into the you will not have as much longevity with your armor if you use titanium, but it's more high performance because lighter. There are certain things you don't want made out of titanium. I don't believe you want your knees or elbows made out of titanium. Anything that's like a good curvature, you want to kind of stick away from, because even though some armorers are now highly skilled in it and can make titanium knees and elbows and some shoulders, they don't last as long. I also, if you want to get the hard slaps, wear titanium. It definitely hurts more. The force definitely goes through more. I wear a titanium body armor. Have for 2 years now, as soon as it became legal in the old ACL, RIP. So yeah, it's high performance, but like realize that it does not have the longevity of spring steel.
Pretty much, it's lighter, and if you've gotten a good heat treat, titanium is the exact opposite end of the workability spectrum from 4130 in terms of heat treatment. It is finicky. It is hard to do. If you are practiced at it, if you are proficient in it, that's great.
I thought TI wasn't heat treated. I thought the heat you do is just to shape it. You got to shape.
It depends on the grade.
I don't know. Honestly, I haven't fucked with it. And I'm not gonna. Everything I've heard from anybody I know personally who's tried to work it is just one horror story after another, and I'm not getting paid for that, so pass.
Also, I love that my body armor. My body armor used to be a Russian helicopter, and that's one of my favorites.
I don't blame you. That sounds good.
We got another question from the chat. Thoughts on Splint versus Cased? So
go
Cased,
plate where you can.
Cased
every time.
Cased.
Yeah.
Cased every time.
Splint.
Splint's much cheaper, but it's lighter, it's more mobile, and it protects better.
Cased is those.
Cased is better.
Okay.
Splint is the poor man's armor.
Every way, shape, or form.
Price.
In terms of armor, Cased is better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it's going to cost more. Suck it the fuck up. Okay, broken legs cost more money. If you want to take a ride in the Wii U wagon, you want to talk about unnecessary expenditures.
So wait,
get an ambulance in the United States.
Just a question on that. Now, Cased is more likely to not fit you, correct?
Like if it's not custom,
more likely to. Okay,
and be harder
to be made to you.
Right,
it has to be made for your measurements. It's a custom fit
Right, and if it isn't made correctly, it's gonna be harder to get to fuck with it, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
There's no fucking with it. It's either gonna fit you or it's not.
So
If it doesn't, send it back to the armor. They'll make you a new one and try to sell that one to somebody with measurements closer to what they were shooting.
So if you're going for cased, make sure you're going with one of those top quality guys who we listed at the beginning of the fucking thing. And is that
Workshop Dubrovnia.
if you're going with cased, go with Workshop Dubrovnia only, apparently.
Or Armor Moscovia.
Or Armor
They
Moscovia.
were absolutely second skin. It was a perfect fit for me. Unfortunately, I like a little bit of play up top, so I ended up selling that pair forward. But there was absolutely nothing wrong with them. I dealt them some hate. They did not take any dents, and I sold them to one of my guys. So I'm not putting my guys in gear that I don't trust.
I don't.
They were great. It fit him better than they fit me.
Didn't I sell you some Ice Falcon legs?
What?
Didn't I sell you some Ice Falcon legs?
Why would you
Upper
do
legs.
that?
Upper legs. Okay, you didn't sell me for Ice Falcon prices.
Okay.
Hey!
Then it's okay.
Wow.
I have owned several pieces of his gear over the years that I bought from other people at what I felt was a reasonable price point for the fucking product.
Under $200.
So
Yeah.
they got
There
scammed.
are upsides. There are upsides to his stuff, all right?
Michael,
It's
what,
easy to make. It works for the most
what
part.
would you say is a
And-
reasonable price for Ice Falcon gear?
You know, it depends on which piece of gear you're talking about.
And how beat up it
honestly,
is. And there's a lot
For
of
the
factors
model
to buying
that I
used
paid
gear.
Cat, I want to say it was like $250. I felt like I got my money's worth.
I don't think
I mean, it's used gear, so it's gonna need some love here sooner or later. But
dealing with the man for free armor would be worth it. So
and yeah, you're the one who sold me the pieces.
yeah, I gotta get rid of my guy's trash too.
All right.
I actually fought in ice arms in the SCA for like 5 years.
Same.
I replaced the forearms with a better pattern, but as far as I know, those elbows are still working out there somewhere. I sold them to somebody else. God, that was right after I got into steel. I mean, I've had it out with him in person over what I like and don't like about his gear. I don't think he heard a word of it, but
Well, no, he's got way more experience than you, Mike.
I'm sure he heard everything you said that was positive. So like, maybe a word.
But what?
Family.
yeah, so
If you said family, he probably heard it.
anything else. But the thing is, just mute. Yeah. I took one of those kits I rebuilt. I have somewhere like an 80 deep photo collection of all the shit that was wrong with it. So help me God, if I ever find pennies in another piece of armor again, used as washers, like fucking the Lincoln Head scent is not an appropriate material to use
Oh, but
medieval armor
you sure?
in any context.
Technically a federal offense.
No, he loves America. He wouldn't do. He wouldn't do that.
I don't even care about that piece of it. I'm not going to get into the legal ramifications of defacing U.S. currency. I'm just saying that's not what should be holding my fucking Nathan up.
Maybe that's why they're so expensive, because they're built out of actual money.
It's just liner thorax pressed $100 bills glued together in layers. Shit that would probably do a better job.
All right.
All right, enough of this. Fuck this nonsense. We got. Are there any more?
Gorget or no? Sabatons or no?
I personally hate wearing gorgets. The only times I've ever worn them in fighting steel, they've ended up like almost choking me out in fights.
You know, if you. Sorry, go ahead.
I prefer wearing just lobsters on the back, and my nasal has a low enough bar that I've never caught anything into the front of the throat. It even passes SCA regulations technically, so I don't have to wear a gorget there either. So I personally hate them, but everyone else's mileage is different. Like I know Micah likes wearing them.
I don't wear a gorget because
Got it.
Because coward collar?
Very
Are we doing the
important.
coward collar?
coward collar. Oh yeah, using my terms, coward collar.
We lost your actual reason.
Oh, my actual reason is I don't know. I just can't be bothered putting on another piece of armor. Legitimately, that's my legitimate.
Garrett's found a hill to die on, and that is what he's going to do now. And that's fair. Everybody's got their point. They're not required. So if you've got the neck shield or one of the lobsters or what have you, if you do like Mikey did and you cover your neck somehow, that's really all that matters. A lot of the European guys are putting little fucking gorget mantle plates in under the helmet. As long as that doesn't get flipped up and somebody doesn't notice before they drill you in the spinal column, great.
Also, I now have a really cool neck scar. I have a really cool neck scar.
Yeah, you and Christopher Reeve can hang out and never mind. I guess he's dead now.
Another thing I noticed is a lot of people do wear the gorgets wrong.
Yeah, there's that too.
A lot of people put the gorgets on wrong and they put them over the chest piece, and that helps them move a lot and choke people out that way. You have to wear it like Micah does and put it on before you put on the chest piece, so the chest piece weighs the gorget down. That way it stays where it's supposed to be.
That is the historically and functionally correct way to wear a late period gorget. Yes, the brigandine gorgets that we all love so much is a complete Scadianism. Those never existed in history until like 1970 something. That's when they came to be, when everybody had a brigandine whatever and they wanted something to match that to cover their necks. That's what they came up with.
But Game of Thrones did them.
They do work.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, pretty much. They'll do their job if you don't want to put on like neck plates. I cut the fabric mantles out of my helmets. I don't like them. I need to be able to move my head. And my gorget weighs nothing. I made it for myself. It fits over all of my crap. I wear it on top of my coat of plates because apparently I got to live dangerously somehow, I guess. I don't know. But the goal there is to cover this gap. As long as your C-spine is covered, it really doesn't make any difference how you do it.
Cool. They both disappeared on us.
Mike's back.
Mike is back.
Okay.
Yeah. I've also taken the halberd to the throat one time.
That sounds horrible.
He had such a good rant. Do you not catch that rant?
No.
It was so good.
Maybe.
We got most of Micah's there.
Oh, Micah, they lost your rant.
We might have got. I think we got part of the rant. We got everything about.
If you cover your neck, it doesn't matter how you do it. That's the takeaway. Like you wear a lobster, wear a neck shield, wear a gorget, cover the damn thing. Have some chainmail on your helmet. Like have it too long. Let the Europeans bitch about it. That's their problem. They can't look at it and keep their lunch down. That is none of my concern. Just don't throw up on my kid.
So Wu-Tang guys.
The one time I forgot to put the damn gorget on before I went out for a polearm duel, Lance Hoffman caught me in the throat, and the only thing between that axe and my trachea was chainmail and padding. So that'll keep you alive.
It just
but
sucks.
I don't recommend it. You need more than just that. Like the lower bars or the lobster. Something.
I recommend Virtue.
Yeah, don't get hit there. It works really well.
Just don't get hit.
Son, I'm not. There's no way I'm getting back to that point. Listen to this.
All right. It's getting late, so I don't want to get into an authenticity rant. So.
But we could.
Yeah,
could.
I'm sure you could.
Also, let's just do Road Warrior armor. I'm ready for it.
I'm in. I want Oik bullshit. I want cyberpunk bullshit. Let's go.
Because I look like a RoboCops.
You guys saw that ridiculous like toe chain flail that I made?
Yeah, it looks fun.
It's like 2 chains with toe hooks on the end off of a 5-foot pole, just swinging.
That was
about.
sick.
I'd fight you with them, dog.
Hell yeah! Let's do it.
All right,
I'd be hurting myself for that piece of shit, to be honest.
Anyone want to get some last thoughts out before I kick you guys off so I can go to bed?
Don't listen to Roland on the internet.
Also that.
Let's just don't listen to any of the older people in or around the community.
See, I've always counted you as an older person in the community.
No, he's only 35.
Apparently.
Yeah, he just looks like shit.
It's all the clean living. It's the years of clean living and virtue.
Quick, like, something I try to recommend people is to try armor way before you buy armor. Don't come into the sport and immediately throw down money on armor without trying things, getting to know. And I want people to try at least 2 different kits if you can. Because
if you're independently wealthy, by all means, buy multiple kits and give the ones you don't like to broke-ass fighters.
Yeah, I would love that. But those are very rare people.
Try soft kit first.
I'm just saying, if you're listening, that's how they should handle things.
As a person who can't give you good advice on armor, but can give you good advice on fighting, maybe. I give advice on fighting. I have no idea if it's good. Don't buy your first kit nice. Don't buy a piece of shit kit or use someone's loaner kit for your first like 3 fights, because then you'll get used to your kit not working, and it's way easier to deal with that when your kit eventually falls apart, which it will do.
Yeah.
And like it's just easier to have been used to, oh, this is what shitty armor feels like, and then go into a nice kit than to be like, I'm in a nice kit and there's nowhere to go. You can't go up from there. You're just fucked. So start off.
I highly recommend don't buy a kit first. Start in soft kit.
Yeah.
See if you don't mind getting punched in the face occasionally before you shell out thousands of dollars.
Okay, so definitely, please, for the love of shit, do not just jump into this if you've never been punched in the face or kicked in the gut.
This is bad advice. Don't listen to them. Please do, and that way we can get your armor when you sell it. No, bad advice. Bad advice.
Yeah, just try the sport. Just go out, buy the kit I tell you to buy in my size. Come out and try it. And when you don't like it,
sell it to us
I'll take the kit off your hands.
Sell it to us for half price afterwards.
I would suggest buying a soft kit first. That seems to be our new methodology, and it seems to be really working for a lot of people. We've had a lot of people who get spooked their first time in armor because they get like axed all about the body and face. And
we're better about that now.
We're better at that now.
The delights of helmet horrors, yes.
But we found that our retention is much higher if they do some foam baps first. They find out they like getting hit with foam. You're more likely to keep them around forever. And since they already have a foam kit to practice in, they're more likely to be in the practice mindset. Not just wear their armor, fight once an event, and then show off how cool their armor is the whole time.
Yes.
Directed shade.
We call it a subliminal. That's a subliminal cat.
It's subliminal now?
It's not a you, Micah. I've seen you fight more than once.
It's a rap term.
Not a while, but like...
No.
You're bad. Walk. God, I need to hit somebody so fucking bad. I fenced today. I needed to hit somebody so bad.
Woof, buddy.
That's awesome, though.
I like fencing. If it wasn't, I mean, I want to put on armor and knock someone unconscious.
Yeah, you can't do that.
So someone there?
You can't do that.
You can. It's just not legal.
All right.
Maybe come visit us. We got like...
No, he's from Florida. He can't come up.
No.
The travel ban. I'm coming for one of you motherfuckers.
Yeah, but like wait for your state to stop being a hot zone of fucking fuckery.
It's in Florida. That will never happen.
Down the shaft in the tip where all the fucking Florida people live.
We'll just make him live in the fucking hooker Motel 6 till he's like got his 2 weeks done.
Then we still won't be able to touch him.
After 2 weeks of hooker Motel 6?
Yeah, for different reasons. His nose will be infected.
It's a grapple at that point.
Okay. It sounds like you guys don't have any last minute wisdoms then.
I didn't have any first minute wisdoms. I'm still at a loss as to why I'm here.
Literally, I got one for you. I got one for you.
Uh-oh.
If a dude continually tells you that he doesn't lie, he's fucking lying.
30 years. All right, sorry, what was yours?
Feel free to hit me up about armor at any time. I love geeking out about it, and I will text...
Or booty pictures. He'll send you those too.
That's true.
Depending.
Honestly, sick. Both counts.
But I love talking about armor. Feel free to hit me up about any questions on pretty much anyone at almost any time.
You can hit me up about either of those things as well.
And he'll send you to me.
I will only help with the booty pics. I have zero good insight on armor. If I give you anything, it came from these three.
I will not help you with booty pics. There's been rules made about this. I can't do that.
So Kat will send you to me for the booty pics, and I'll send you to him for the armor.
I'll refer to the Thought Boys in the left page.
Third party supplier there.
Okay. Always. Well, thank you guys for being on. I think this was very helpful. I think I learned shit, so hopefully other people learned shit. Yeah. Cool. I'm going to hang up on you guys. Peace out.
Night, everyone.
Don't die.
Night.